Good morning. Romans 5:5, God's love has been poured out onto us through the Holy Spirit. And I was thinking about how everything else is you need to achieve to receive. But God's one-way love comes down to us and meets us right where we are in our brokenness, in our sin, in our struggle, when we come to the end of ourself and just cry out, God, help me. His love overflows our heart. So today my point is, and then I was thinking of Isaiah 46:10, where it says, be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I love you. Just be in that place of just receiving the love of God before you try and do anything. When I came in, I was trying to do. I experienced God's grace, hadn't really experienced the love of God, so I got busy doing. I was trying to achieve, to receive the love of God. But really what it's about is receiving the love of God, understanding what your identity is, a child of God. I am no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. And when that gets seated down in your heart, then doing comes from an overflow rather than trying to do in order to receive. And I think we get that backwards in the church a lot of times. We get busy doing a lot of things for God instead of resting in Him and understanding our identity as a child and just receiving from our Father the love that's coming our way. And then what happens is, when that gets seated down, our identity is so seated into our hearts and we understand who we are. Everything we do is out of an overflow. We understand that we don't really have to do anything. Doing comes out of gratitude for God's love. That love that was cut off in the garden, by man's choice to be autonomous apart from God. Now we're reconnected to that love. So you don't have to do anything today. I don't have to read. I don't have to study. I don't have to. But what happens is, because of the love of God being, my identity being changed, and now me being in a place of, not being in a place of brokenness, but being loved, I desire to know more and more about my loving Father. Not because I have to, because I want to. Oh, that's different. Same thing in addiction, because I only talk about what I know. But someone that is trying to modify their behavior for someone else, or they're trying to do it to change their identity. Okay, now I was an addict, but now I'm going to just modify my behavior. I'm not, I'm going to go to my meetings and I'm doing these things. The reality of it is, until their identity's changed and they understand the love of God, I had a lot of success in recovery, but I wasn't free inside, because it was all about the exterior of the cup. It wasn't about the inside. But when we understand the love of God, it changes us from the inside out. It's about the interior, the inside of the cup. And that's a different way of living. Then you're able to be that love, be that fragrance of God's love wherever you go. So you don't walk into a room self-conscious anymore. You're just there, and you're able to, God gives you eyes to see other people that are hurting, and you're able to be invested in their life instead of always self-focused. The kingdom way of living is, there's nothing better. It's how He created us. We're in His image. But that image was broken. That image was taken away. But now at any time we can come back to that image as if we never ate the tree. I love you, God, with my entire life. For I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ who lives in me. That's the posture of where I am today. And many others are too. There's beauty in that. There's freedom in that. There's peace and joy and contentment. There's the fruit of the Spirit that comes into your life as you submit it back to God. Anyway, God bless y'all.